Hi friends, so before this vlog gets started, I just want to remind you guys that this series is going to be incomplete because I dropped my camera and a bunch of footage into the ocean while I was in Hong Kong. And if you want to know how that happened, you can watch my last video. It'll be linked in the description and will probably be up here somewhere as well. So this video is starting in the middle of our trip, so I wanted to recap the first few days before getting into the vlog. So we arrived on August 20th, 2023, and went straight to the Tower of London, which is a large old fortress. Then afterwards we met up with my friend Leslie, who we met in China, so you might recognize him from my China vlogs. He took us around the area. We walked across the Tower Bridge, around that area, went past the Shard and a few other notable places. Shout out to Leslie for taking us around. We also stopped by St. Paul's Cathedral, which is a very large old church. We didn't go in because it was already nighttime. The next day, the 21st, we went to Westminster Abbey and Big Ben. We also did not go into these buildings, but there's like a very nice quad area around Big Ben. We were there when the clock struck 12, which was kind of cool. So then after Big Ben, we went to high tea, which is not really a meal. You just like drink a lot of tea and eat pastries and tiny sandwiches. It was a cultural experience, so enjoyed that. After high tea, we went to Buckingham Palace. You're not allowed to take any photos inside the palace, so I don't have any of those, but there's gardens in the back as well as the front entrance where there's a big gate and a big statue and fountain. Very crowded, but also pretty cool. On the way to dinner, we stopped at Hyde Park, which is a very large, beautiful park in the middle of London. It was actually prettier than the gardens behind the palace. And then we went to Trafalgar Square, which is a memorial to the Battle of Trafalgar. And then we had dinner in Chinatown. I can't remember too much about what we ate, but I do remember that I almost left my wallet in the restaurant, but I went back and got it, so it's fine. Then the next day we took a train to Edinburgh. It took about 4 hours. And once we got there, we went to Edinburgh Castle, which was built in the 11th century and was a royal residence until 1633, and then afterward was later used as a military garrison. Then we went around and kind of explored Old Town and the Royal Mile, which is a long cobblestone street full of shops and restaurants and generally touristy things. Then the next day, we went to the Palace of Holyrood, which has served as the principal royal residence of the British monarch of Scotland since the 16th century. We also could not take pictures inside this palace, but around the palace there's a huge park called Holyrood Park, and you can hike up to this mountain peak called Arthur's Seat, and we did that and it was really beautiful. So that night we went to a show of a guy that I've been following on Instagram and YouTube for many years. I did not realize this at the time, but his show is part of a larger performing arts festival that happens every year called the Edinburgh Fringe, and it's the largest performing arts festival in the world. It happens simultaneously with another performing arts festival called the Edinburgh International Festival, which is another performing arts festival. All that to say is there were like hundreds of shows happening during this time that we were there. Anyway, but this guy that I've been following, whose show we went to, his name is Adrian Bliss. He's hilarious, and his show was called Inside Everyone, and it was about the story of an atom from the beginning of time to present day, and it's a one-man show. It was hilarious and so well done. So then after this show, we went to the Prince's Street Gardens, and this is where my vlog picks up, so please enjoy. we left the gardens and now we're on our way to find some food. At the gardens, we stumbled upon this parish where there's a bunch of graves. It was a little creepy. And we also saw a hawk was like eating some type of bird. That was pretty crazy. I think it was I looked it up, it was like a Eurasian sparrowhawk or a Eurasian hawk. Anyway, that was cool. Now we're looking for food. Also, I bought this scarf, which is a tartan Scottish scarf, luxury, and it was deals. Only 15 pounds, actually 13 pounds. So that was cool. Anyway, we'll probably find some food, eat, and then go back to the Airbnb, and we are leaving tomorrow morning to go back to London. That's all for today. See you guys tomorrow.